Now welcome today's host, Mark Taylor.
All right, welcome to another episode of the Seeking the City podcast. I'm here with Mama Neal, as most people know her. But what is your official name?
Coby, C-O-B-Y.
Miss Coby. And actually, you've got some kicks on today, some Nikes, and they were purple and gold. And I said, I know that's not for LSU to honor me from being from Louisiana, but it's for what?
It's the color of my nonprofit, Don't Neal, and the colors actually came from the Lakers.
From the Lakers. And so Coby is your name. We know the favorite players for the Lakers, so I like that connection. Well, thank you for being here, and you actually have a guest that came with you today, and we've had some time just to get to know each other a little bit better over lunch. But originally how we met was I was traveling in Atlanta, saw you on a Sunday morning on my way somewhere, and somebody that we've come to know, two of us, Mr. Josh Powell, two-time champion for the Lakers back in 2009, 2010, who played with Kobe Bryant.
Yes.
What an honor there. But he was actually donating some basketball to your organization for a basketball camp that you did. So
yes, he was.
Tell us about you and about your organization and how did you come to do the good work you're doing. And then definitely we want to get into that basketball camp, because I know that is not only something that the kids look forward to, but it sounds like it's about to start growing too.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes. Well, my name is Coby, last name Canty, C-A-N-T-Y. I have come to be known by Mama Neal, which is the last name of my son that passed away. I do have an organization called Don't Neal Inc., and that is changing the Neal of normal people in extraordinary circumstances. So that goes for any and everybody, changing the Neal of normal people in extraordinary circumstances.
And that came out of a circumstance. It was painful, right? It was a tragedy for you. And if those that are listening in, we may have some people of all kinds of varieties. I think it's grown to 48 cities now, 4 countries that people listen in. I don't even know, internet, that's how that happens. People share it on social media. And if you've been listening in, you've been enjoying the Seeking the City podcast, we encourage you to keep sharing that so that they're here and they have a voice for their organizations and the good work they're doing in their communities, that'll be shared with your friends, your family, and keep that going. But with that, you were sharing me when we first met that your son had an experience on his own, and out of that came this great organization. So if you will, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing, again, those that are listening may be inspired, may be encouraged, maybe they see themselves in this, or they know somebody that they're connected with that has experienced the same thing. So thank you again for being here to share your story. But tell us about that. How did that come about?
Don't Neal Inc. was birthed out of the death of my son, Officer Neal. He was a field training officer for Clayton County Police Department. And sadly, he took his own life due to not being able to handle stress, negativity, just had a panic attack. Mm-hmm. So he was a normal person. No mental illness, no TD, no ADHD, nothing. Just had a panic attack. So I just wanted us to just, by his last name being Neal, I just wanted nobody else to have to kneel. Nobody else to have to go through anything that was that tragic. So I decided not to die with my son. I started to don't kneel. Don't kneel to anything negative in life. I took that pain and I made it a purpose. Yeah. So it pushed me. Yeah. You know, when it first happened, I didn't want anyone else to lose a child. I didn't want anybody else to experience that pain because I felt like it was enough pain just for me. Yes, like I took on the pain for everybody. And then after that, when somebody else would tell me that they had to bury a child, no, I took care of that pain for you. I wanted to take the pain for everybody. Yeah. So I took that and I made my pain my purpose. So it pushes me. It keeps me alive. It keeps me motivated and it keeps me going. So through that, I've become a grief coach, life experience coach, mindfulness coach. So I just try to take as many classes, certifications that I can that allow me to pour myself into others. Wow. Because in this day and time, we have too many parents that are burying kids. And I didn't find that anywhere in the Bible, but it's happening. It's like time has rewrote itself or changed the narrative that we thought that it should have been. Yeah. We think that we're supposed to bury our parents. Yeah. But now as we see every day, parents are burying their kids.
And so he had gone through something personally that brought him to the place where he thought that was the best choice. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
At that time.
Right. So he was hurt. He didn't know how to reach out to anybody.
Okay.
And everything happened like all of a sudden. So it was no time for him to think or reach out. So he panicked and took his own life. So for somebody that normal and that well put together to do that, it can happen to anybody.
I agree with that. You know, and he was had accolades. I mean, he was good at his job as a police officer.
Yes.
Well respected. People, I think you'd said, would call on him to request him, particularly just because of who he is, his character, his integrity, and to just, you know, they knew that he not only could get the job done, but there was something about him that drew people to him, right?
Yes, he was a very respectful young man. He followed instructions. He did what everybody wanted him to do. And after his passing, I was able to go through his items. And I just found all these accolades that people had written about him from Clayton County Police Department. They had wrote it to like the chief and was saying this officer was great at this. And then I ran across a lot of accolades that he had from a lady that's a Clayton County school employee. Her name is Miss Shakira Rice. And she would always have him working with her at the school, doing food drive, food boxes, directing traffic. So he was supposed to be there for one thing, but he would end up just helping her a lot. And I end up linking up with her, and she's the one actually that had me volunteering into the school system. So that's how I became a part of the Clayton County school system, because all I want to do is just help. I want to help everybody child that I can.
And so well respected, but behind the scenes, just like many of us, we're dealing with something, but we don't let other people know, or he didn't know how to deal with it and make it be known. Is that maybe fair to say?
Yeah. So I'm thinking him reaching out to me at that time in his life, I gathered that he thought he would have been disappointing me.
Okay.
I'm your son that graduated high school. I went to the Navy. I came out. I became a police officer. I'm just doing so well. I do not want to tell my mom that I have somebody looking at me in a negative way. So just going through a bad breakup to where it became so damaging that he was told, if you're not going to be with me, you're not going to be with anybody else.
Made it difficult. Yeah.
Yes. So him being able to express that or discuss that with anyone, it happened so soon and so sudden. He didn't know how to say, hey, Mom, I'm having this problem, in this relationship, and I don't know how to get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I shared with you that I had an older gentleman had shared one time, and I heard him speaking to a lot of students, and he said that you realize that a lot of people, when they maybe take their own life that way and they think that's the best way out at that point, that sometimes they feel like they have more to live with than to live for. And that's always stayed with me. I know somebody right now that actually their girlfriend broke up with them, and they're at 16, and that's tough because it's the first time it's like first love, and just didn't know how to deal with those emotions. But I'm thankful that I think that person realized they have a good support system around them, loving people around them, and he had that as well. So not to get that wrong, it's not that they was devoid of that, but even in that, sometimes we don't know how to deal with those. So you started Don't Neal to be able to help people that if they're in those life circumstances, whatever the life struggle may be, right? If it seems overwhelming, if it seems too difficult to deal with, there is no way out. I don't see an end to this, a positive result coming out of this. That's part of what you do. So is there any programs or is it anything particular that you're doing to serve your communities to say, hey, I'm looking at all kinds of different people. And so we were talking about Clayton County. That's south of Atlanta for those that may be listening in from other places, just to give them context. But what are some of the good things you get to do to help serve your neighbors right now that could eliminate some of that feeling and they feel cared for, they feel supported?
My organization is actually accessible 24 hours a day. So 3:00 in the morning, you can call and get assistance. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to come to you from a standpoint of talk to a therapist, get you a counselor. We will get there. But I'm going to talk to you as a person, a one-on-one person, not like you're a machine or a robot. I'm not going to give you anything that's scripted out of a book. I'm going to talk to you. Okay, I understand. I've been there, or I know someone. If you call me, you're a single mom, and I just don't know how to make it. I don't know how to make it. I just don't know what I'm going to do with these kids. Their dads are not here. I'm going to talk to you, and I'm going to link you up with someone else in that exact same situation so that you can see that there's a way out. You can see how they made it. So I'm going to put you with the light, situational type of person so you can see, oh, I was on drugs for these many years. I can't get off. I'm going to put you with somebody else that was a previous drug addict that came off and doing well.
Right.
You know, and then for my uniform personnel, I'm going to put you in touch with someone that another uniform personnel to know. Just because you have on a police uniform, you're a first responder, firefighter, elected official, we're going to put you in touch with somebody of that caliber to know, hey, there's a way out. Just because.
All your neighbors.
Right. Because you are human. At the end of the day, we all have blood.
So no office hours. I work with anybody. I'll help anybody.
We don't discriminate.
Mama Neal, that's uncommon. That's not common. So do you ever get that question and people ask you, like, why do you do this? Like, you could just live for you. You could just be in your own pain now after that experience. You could just be in mourning and grief, and you could just kind of live out, and you could have all kind of excuses to not go forward in life and to be productive or anything else. But why? And or definitely not focus on anybody else's problems. So what drives you to do that?
My son, just me doing this is keeping him alive within me. So when I leave here, it's going to be a legacy. Not the legacy of mine, but she did all of this for her son. Right. Because he will not die. He will not die.
So there was purpose in this pain, is what I think you said before.
Yes,
right?
There is. There is purpose in my pain. And it pushes me. Because I don't want anybody to ever feel like there's nothing that they can't overcome or get out of.
Come on.
I mean, even if you're somebody and you did the unthinkable and you're incarcerated and you know you're going to be there, be the best incarcerated person you can be. Wow. Have the best made bed, do your chores the best, minister into other inmates. We have to have jails. That's just society. Right. And if you're not able to be rehabilitated to be back into society, then be the best person that you can be behind those walls.
Live on purpose. Or live for a different purpose. Maybe that what you got you.
If you wake up, you have a purpose.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
If you wake up,
you're still here and breathing. There's a reason, right?
Yes. So, and it bothers me that people will wake up and do nothing. Have no purpose, no reason to be up. You're just here. You're just breathing.
Yeah.
If you're breathing, you have a purpose.
Wow. Yeah, my dad we were talking a little bit earlier. My dad was in the Air Force, made a great career in the military, and then pastored for 31 years after that. Very purposeful life. But, he said if life's supposed to be enjoyed, not endured. If you're just enduring it, something's not right. But maybe sometimes people don't know how to be able to enjoy it. They don't know how to enjoy it because of their circumstances, something either they cause, somebody calls towards them. So if somebody's listening in, they go, yeah, I hear you, Mama Neal, saying there's purpose in pain, but how is that even really possible?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible. You have to have a purpose. You have to reset your mindset. You can just ask yourself, why am I here today? And you got to take little steps. Not saying, oh, I'm here to go do this. No, I may be here just to take my neighbor a lunch or a case of water.
Small things can make a big impact.
Yes. I mean, I take water to the cemetery all the time. My son is at Southview Cemetery. And the guys that work out there, I take water out there all the time to them. I know they get paid, but it's just a little extra thought. And to let them know, I see what you all are out here doing. I
think it was Mother Teresa once said, I saw this on a wall outside of a church, and they had painted this, that small acts done with great love can change the world. I think that was Mother Teresa. But there's a woman that definitely gave her life to serving those who had leprosy in India. But she didn't have to. She chose to do that. She saw a need, met the need, and that's kind of what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Out there. Now, is it just in South Atlanta? Have you seen your organization be able to touch lives other places?
Yes, I have a couple of, I'll say, clients in Virginia. I went to Virginia for the 4th of July. I went there and able to engage with some people that were in the Navy with my son. So I was able to engage, pour into them. They poured back into me. So I was able to network, leave some merchandise there for Don't Neal so that we'll have a little click up there. I went to South Carolina last weekend, and I was able to meet people there, network, which actually is going to cause us to have an all males fashion show here in Georgia next year.
Wow.
So,
And then you have your basketball clinic. So
yes,
it started, is this the first one that you just had this summer?
actually, when my son died, he was such a great basketball player.
Oh.
So every time Clayton County Police Department had tournaments,
Yeah.
he would be in those tournaments,
Okay.
and they would win. His team would always win. So not bragging, but his team would always win.
Right.
So when he passed away, we started the Don't Neal basketball tournaments.
Okay.
And it was actually for officers to play with kids in the communities.
I like it.
But because there's such a shortage of officers right now, I spoke with the police chief, Kevin Roberts. We're now under the leadership of Commissioner Alika Anderson Henry. Great lady, great gentleman. And we just decided to have a basketball camp just for the kids. So this was the first year of that particular that part of it, of the basketball
just for
camp.
The kids. Yeah, and they got free, every player got a basketball
Thanks
of their
to
own.
Josh Powell. Josh Powell was a former NBA player with the Lakers, and he played with some other teams too. Yep. But of course, the Lakers. He played with Kobe Bryant. He actually
20-year history, I think. Right. Pros, yeah.
And he actually brought Kobe Bryant to Riverdale High School at one point, and he was a Clayton County student as well. Wow. So I was able to reach out to him. He has a nonprofit called 21 Reasons, and it's on IG. Yep. And I reached out to him, and to my surprise, I received a call back. And I was able to meet him and pick up basketballs where I actually met you in a parking lot of a Starbucks.
God brought us together. It was not a chance. It was God, I think, a divine appointment. And I know Josh knows about our podcast, the CNC podcast. So Josh, if you're listening, you connected us, and thank you for doing that.
Yes, and
it was that small act that actually brought us together. So he didn't know that was on his calendar for today.
No. So the 21 Reasons is his nonprofit. He goes out. If you follow him on IG, you'll see all the things that he's always giving back. And so I do want to find ways to actually assist and help him and give back to his.
Yeah, and we'll put a link to his organization as well in the show notes. That's a good idea.
Yes, but every young man that came to that basketball camp was able to get a free basketball. They were able to get a Don't Neal t-shirt. They were able to get an armband that has Don't Neal on it, and it also has the phone number to Don't Neal. So if they're ever in a situation of just having a doubt, or just need somebody to talk, they may just need a mentor. They can always call me, and I can link them up with someone. Yeah. You know, I've Derek Bozeman, oh my God, great fellow. He does everything in the community. He does a lot. And just being able to work with him and to use his resources to help me has been phenomenal. Yeah. You know, young men, just teaching them how to tie ties. They came out with me and assisted me with that program. And they just have a lot of programs under West Care of Georgia. So Derek Bozeman is phenomenal in being a network for me to be able to
West Care Youth Academy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
And we've got one right here in Carrollton, Georgia, we discovered. So we're going to be trying to get tied into them with Seeing the City and see how we can partner together. So thank you for telling us about them. And I'd heard about them, but I'd never been able to really get to know and do any good work with them. So see what we can do to give them visibility and expand what they're trying to do here with those young men as well. So thank you for connecting us with that. Well, I think that now the basketball camp, though, became so popular. This one, they want you to do not just one a year,
but they want me to do one for the whole summer. Because I just tried it out this time, and I did it for 4 days. Okay. And I started out with maybe 8 kids. And by the end of the camp, I had like 15 kids that were coming, and they were just coming. And I was like, no, you got to have a permission slip. So I didn't want to turn anybody away, and I didn't. I just had them to call their parents, and then they would text me over authorization that they could be there and that they could eat. You know, some that couldn't pay, I had sponsors to pay for kids to actually be there. So it was a great turnout. So I've already spoken with one of the school board commissioners. So we're going to try to go ahead and put that on for the whole summer of next year.
Yeah. Now, I know that it came out of tragedy with your son, but it became something that has become beautiful. And the Bible talks about how we can go from ashes to beauty. And I know that your faith may have a part of this, right? That drives some of this. Like, how would you know how to care? How would you know how to love? How would you know how to show some grace and mercy and compassion? How has your faith at all ever played a part of this as far as what you do, how you live out your daily life?
I think you have to just live and look, and you have to believe, and you have to know that things just don't happen by chance. And you could be somebody that grew up in a church, or you could be somebody that didn't grow up in a church. But you have to see that those trees just did not appear. The grass did not just appear. There's a reason behind everything. You know, even though we may get angry sometime and wonder why did this happen or how did it happen, you know, sooner or later you're going to go back to the beginning. And you're going to know that these things happen for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I was created in his image. So what we're doing is in his image. So helping others, that's me, my creation of his image. Just for me to pour myself into others. You know, I've had pain. Of course, you want to ask why? Why not?
Or ask what? Like what is all this for? Yeah, that's good. And so, wow, that's powerful. But now you had said something before that why keep watering the tree? What was it?
So you had asked me a question as to when I have adversity with this nonprofit, how do I deal with it? So dealing with adversity.
How do you not grow weary in doing good?
Right.
And there are people that could be challenging that you work with who don't really, like they want help, but they don't really want to help themselves. Is that what you were saying?
Yep.
Okay.
So what happens is if you have a flower and you keep watering the flower, it's dead. It's not going to grow. So stop watering something that's dead. Wow. So you have to know when it's dead.
That's wisdom right there.
Yeah. So you have to know when it's dead. You have to stop watering. And for me, it's hard. It's kind of hard because I had to teach myself this year how to say no. And I wasn't used to saying no. But when it's draining to you and you see it just not going to work, then you have to say no. And you have to stop watering that flower that's not growing.
Wow. That's good. Wow. And so I know that maybe Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, that's probably one of your favorite verses, right? Do not lean on your own understanding.
Do not lean to your own understanding because you will go crazy.
So, but there may be people in our churches. We work with a lot of churches and we try to inspire and mobilize them for a gospel missionary movement to identify people and places where Jesus and the churches need him most in West Georgia. And in doing so, but there may be people, sometimes they look like they got it all together. Everything's good. But internally, they may know when they lay their head down, it's just them and the truth at night. They may be in a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of hopelessness. So there are people you think probably sitting in our churches listening into this even right now, or the people listening may know someone like this, that we as churches, how can churches be mindful of the people in their own congregation? How can they really care for them if they don't know about it? How can they encourage people to let it be known, to know and be known?
So for me, it's seeking out that person that doesn't look like they're going through anything. The happiest person in church, the one with the biggest smile, the one with all the greetings and the accolades going on. That's the person that's probably going through the deepest time, and you would never know because they don't look like what they're going through. So if I was in a church and I saw that person, or in the church, I would always reach out to that person. How are you doing today? They're going to say, "Oh, I'm fine." No.
How are you really doing?
How are you doing? You know, how are you handling that? Like I have people, I had a therapist, and after my son died, I did get a therapist. And he said, every time I call you, I'm supposed to be providing you with therapy, but you provide me with therapy. So we're here to help somebody. So just reach. And I think when you're in a church, somebody in that church has a discerning heart. So where you will be guided to that person that you're supposed to help.
And you were encouraging pastors and leaders should be discerning, be able to, well, I think it's important. I work with a lot of churches in different ways. And I think that sometimes when you're working with churches, and even myself, I can get caught up in the daily ministry maintenance, the maintaining the ministry operations without forgetting this is about people. This is about the people we're serving, we're ministering to. And it's and so if you don't know, if your church is not well connected, small groups, personally, if they don't have a way to have somebody to reach out to, pastoral staff's not accessible, whatever it may be, people could become isolated. So if you start realizing in churches that people are starting to be isolated and you don't see somebody for a couple of weeks, you may want to check in on them. People don't need to fall through the cracks. They're family. Right. And I think that's what happens. That's where when people are not known, they either let themselves be known and or they don't want to be known, or you haven't intentionally tried to get to know people. And so you've got to know the people in your congregations, because there are people that are maybe struggling, and you want to help those kind of people. And I do too. We try to always end with being able to brag on God. And so we call this segment, That's So God, That's So Good. What would be a God moment that you could share with somebody that could be inspirational and encouraging to them? What's something you've experienced personally with God?
So with me, my God moment would be, I didn't die with my son. He left me here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so God that I'm still here.
Yeah.
And then I have a God moment that I had recently. That's so God to put me in touch with Pastor Taylor. I met another Pastor Taylor. Miss A. Taylor. She has a Hope Christian Academy in Jonesboro. And I actually had a decent conversation with her, and we talked just like normal people. We didn't talk as like she was first lady, and we just talked, and it drew me to her, and it actually drew me to her church. So that was so God, because I've had so much church hurt. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to do this and do that. I just, and just meeting her. Yep. A. Taylor. Yep, they're at Shiloh Baptist Church in Jonesboro. Wow. And when I tell you, she was just phenomenal. She taught me like a real person. She didn't come to me out of the Bible with quotes and everything. And it just drew me to her. And that was so God.
Well, if you happen to be listening to this and she shares this and she's connected with you and you see this on social media or somewhere, we're thankful for her and her ministry. That's awesome.
Yeah, you have.
I think people need to be reminded. Yeah, that's good. That'll encourage someone, and maybe that'll encourage her even. Yes, that's good. Yes. Well, I appreciate you spending time with us. So what we'll do is we'll make it available for people to be able to reach out to you, and the contact information in the show notes. Any resources we think might be helpful that you've mentioned. Yes. We definitely want to get them connected with Josh Powell's organization, 21 Reasons. And so, wow, this has been a great conversation. This is going to help a lot of people.
No, but thank you for reaching out to me.
I look forward to collaborating with you. There's some things that we're going to maybe do in the future together around basketball. And we're actually looking to do our first West Georgia outdoor 3-on-3 basketball tournament as a fundraiser for Seeking City. And then we'll be able to bless some other organizations. So we hope that you will be a part of that. We'll give you visibility to that, and maybe see how we can get you to work into coming out and be a part of that in some way so that people can get to know your organization as well. And then there's another organization that maybe we'll talk about. If you go back and you look at the previous episodes for DeMarcus Copeland and Impact, his great organization, he works with children with adverse childhood experiences. And I know you definitely serve those children and families in your community. So we're hoping to get you all partnered up as well and get to know each other, see how y'all can work together. And maybe you can share some things with him by experiences that may help even the kids and the families he's helping right here in Carroll County.
Oh, yes, Georgia. I would love that.
Awesome. Well, I thank you. Well, hey, thanks again for listening in. Always, if you will follow us and then also comment, because that'll help other people find the podcast, and you'll be able to be sharing with more people than just yourself. So until next time, we're Seeking the City podcast, and Miss Neal, have a blessed day, and we'll pray a special blessing on your organization for sure.
Okay, and I just do want to let everybody know that they can follow us on Facebook, Don't Neal Inc., Instagram, Don't Neal Inc., all social media platforms on Don't Neal Inc. Okay. And they can always reach out 24 hours a day, 770-369-1112.
There you go. Yep. Now look, and then if you've been inspired and you want to ask her questions and you definitely feel like, man, I could be more engaged or more active in my own community, but I don't know where to start. She can help you. She can give you some ideas in your community, wherever you are, that maybe even the type of places where she works and organizations that she partners with, she can maybe share that with you. But we'll make sure those links definitely
thank you so much
in the show notes as well. But thanks for sharing that.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a great day.
Have a good day.
That'll do it for this episode. Thank you for listening to and supporting the Seeking the City podcast. Now, if you like the sound of this, please subscribe to this podcast. If you want your question answered or have a topic you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, send us a message at connect@seekingthecity.org.